I replaced every current Champions League club in the Champions League with the worst club from that same country, guys. I know it's another random idea and we're all here for it. So Chelsea becomes Cheltenham Town, PSG is Bastia, Barcelona is Real Zaragoza, while Real Madrid is Cultural Leonesa. Man City is Newport County, Inter Milan is Spezia, Bayern Munich is FC Schweinfurt, and Liverpool is Shrewsbury Town. Borussia Dortmund becomes TSV Havelse from 3 Liga, and Benfica turns into AVS Football Sad. Juventus is Mantova, Bayer Leverkusen is Jan Regensburg, Atalanta transforms into Sampdoria, and Atletico Madrid becomes Granada. Eintracht Frankfurt is Alemannia Aachen, Arsenal is Crawley Town, Villarreal is Sidi Mirandes, Club Brugge is FCV Dender, Olympiacos becomes Grazer AK from Austria because there isn't any terrible Greek sides in the game, but that's okay. The wonderful story of Bodo Glimt in the Champions League is no more because they've transformed into FK Haugesund. The same thing applies to Slavia Praha as it does to Olympiacos because there isn't any lower ranked Czechia clubs in the game, but they are replaced by Winterthur from the Swiss Super League. Ajax is now Heracles Almelo, and Marseille is Laval. PSV becomes Excelsior, and Sporting becomes Tondela from Portugal. Spurs won the FA Cup, so they're playing in the Champions League. Well, not here, because now they're Accrington Stanley, and Napoli is Pescara, guys. FC Copenhagen is Velje Bold Club, and unfortunately for Athletic Club Bilbao, they have just become Real Sociedad, but Real Sociedad 2. Tranmere Rovers is your new Newcastle United, and the only club from Azerbaijan, Karabag, obviously they cannot be replaced by another club from Azerbaijan because there's only one club from Azerbaijan in FC26, but they're being replaced by the bottom Polish team in Lechia Gdansk. Kairat is the same story, even Kairat is not in the game, but not to worry, they're being replaced by Cork City from Ireland. And Paphos from Cyprus is the new Metala Globus from Romania. Galatasaray? No. Karagumruk? Yes. Monaco is now US Boulogne. And the final club, the Belgian winners, Royal Union Saint-Gilloise playing Champions League football, not anymore. It is now OH Leuven. The champion! No. The Champions League table is set. It is ready to go with our new and improved competitors. We all know which club is representing who. What would happen and who would win if this was a real thing? Good clubs out, bad clubs in. And just like that, our revised Champions League league phase has been completed, and these are your top 8. It is Sampdoria, Cultural Leonesa, Alemannia Aachen is in 3rd, OH Leuven is in 4th. Remember, they replaced Royal Union Saint-Gilloise. Jan Regensburg, another German side, in 5th, Spezia in 6th, Real Zaragoza is in 7th, and Excelsior, who replaced PSV, is in 8th. Going into the playoffs, it is Karagumruk, aka Galatasaray, Bastia, Winterthur, Mirandes, Mantova, Velje Bold Club, who replaced FC Copenhagen, Tondela, AVS Football Sad, Tranmere Rovers, FCV Dender, Schweinfurt, Heracles Almelo, Granada, Pescara, Accrington Stanley, and the last club that goes into the Champions League playoffs is Havelse, which means Real Sociedad, Grazer AK, Laval, FC Metala Globus, FK Haugesund, Bologna, Lechia Gdansk, Cork City, Cheltenham Town, Newport County, Crawley Town, and Shrewsbury are all eliminated. 4 League 2 English sides that replaced 4 Premier League English sides are gone. In the playoffs to qualify for the round of 16, it is Dender versus Tondela, Karagumruk versus Accrington Stanley, Granada versus Winterthur, Mantova versus Schweinfurt, Tranmere Rovers versus AVS Football Sad, SC Bastia versus Havelse, Pescara versus Mirandes, Velje Bold Club versus Heracles Almelo. When the playoffs were completed, Tondela beat out FCV Dender, Karagumruk took care of business against Accrington Stanley, FC Winterthur lost out to Granada 5-4 on aggregate, while Schweinfurt, who were representing Bayern Munich, lost to Mantova, who were swapped out for Juventus. AVS Football Sad, aka Benfica, lost to Tranmere Rovers, aka Newcastle United. And Bastia, who are here instead of PSG, beat out Havelse, who are here instead of Borussia Dortmund, but they're here no longer. longer. Mirandes, aka Villarreal, beat out Pescara, aka Napoli, while Heracles Almelo from the Eredivisie, who were representing Ajax, beat Velje Bold Club, aka FC Copenhagen. And so the round of 16 was set, guys. It was Granada versus Jan Regensburg, OH Leuven versus Heracles Almelo, Tondela versus Sampdoria, Excelsior versus Bastia, Tranmere Rovers versus Cultural Leonesa, Real Zaragoza versus Karagümrük, aka Galatasaray, Mirandes versus Spezia, Alemannia Aachen versus Mantova. As the round of 16 began, eventually it came to an end with Jan Regensburg from 3 Liga advancing past Granada 4-2 on aggregate. OH Leuven, their journey came to an end as well in the round of 16. They lost 4-2 on aggregate to Heracles Almelo. Sampdoria narrowly got by CD Tondela, advancing to the quarterfinals, while Excelsior from the Dutch Eredivisie fell short to SC Bastia from Ligue 2 in France. Cultural Leonesa were victorious over Tranmere Rovers 3-2 on aggregate, and Real Zaragoza also advanced 4-2 on aggregate over Karagümrük, so Galatasaray, aka Karagümrük, were eliminated. Spezia surprisingly lost out to CD Mirandes 4-2 on aggregate, and Mantova beat out Alemannia Aachen 5-3 on aggregate. That only left us with 8 clubs, Sampdoria versus SC Bastia, and the matchups were getting tougher and tougher. Mantova versus CD Mirandes, Real Zaragoza versus Cultural Leonesa, Jan Regensburg versus Heracles Almelo. And some of the results in the quarterfinals of this Champions League were a bit shocking. SC Bastia, who were representing PSG, lost out to Sampdoria, aka Atalanta. Mirandes and Mantova went head-to-head. It went to penalties in the second leg, and Mirandes, who were here instead of Villarreal, beat out Mantova, who were representing Juventus. They were out. Real Zaragoza are having a terrible season IRL, and that's exactly why they were here. They replaced Barcelona, and they beat Cultural Leonesa 5-1 on aggregate. And Cultural Leonesa were here instead of Real Madrid, so it was Barca versus Real Madrid in the quarters. And the last quarterfinal were 2 clubs that maybe not necessarily would get to the Champions League quarterfinal IRL. Jan Regensburg were replacing Bayer Leverkusen, and Heracles Almelo were replacing Ajax. Heracles Almelo won 4-2 on aggregate, going to the last 4. Your semifinals: Mirandes versus Sampdoria, Real Zaragoza versus Heracles Almelo. 2 Spanish clubs, an Italian club, and a Dutch club. Funny how things change as soon as we swap a few clubs around. Leg 1 of the first semifinal between Mirandes and Sampdoria, and it is Mirandes that takes a 2-1 lead. Real Zaragoza versus Heracles Almelo from the Netherlands, and it is Almelo with the 2-1 win as well. We are about to find out who will be our first finalist of this Champions League. Will it be Heracles Almelo or Real Zaragoza? Zaragoza needs some work to do. They are behind, and they cannot do it. It is Almelo, Heracles Almelo, that go to the Champions League final. Ajax can get there, but their replacement can. Who would Heracles Almelo face in this Champions League final? Would it be Sampdoria? Would it be Mirandes? Sampdoria is at home, but they need a comeback, and they also cannot make the comeback. It is Mirandes who are representing Villarreal. That means our final is Ajax versus Villarreal, or I guess the clubs that replaced them. Things are completely different. No disrespect to Ajax and Villarreal, but I don't see you guys going to the Champions League final this year. But hey, at least the clubs that we swapped you out with do. And here we go, the Champions League final. It is Heracles Almelo versus CD Mirandes, guys. This is how it all worked out. It will be Heracles that begin with the ball through Van Gilst. Now, you guys let me know down in the comments if you know anything about these 2 clubs, because someone out there does, more than me. And let me know who's winning this one. It is Almelo, Heracles Almelo. Am I even saying the club's name correctly? I don't even know if I'm saying the club's name correctly. I think CD Mirandes I'm saying correctly because it's got the little thingy on the E. Mirandes. You know, the pronunciation has got to go heavy on the E as Heracles Almelo go forward through Vanderkust. He'll play it all the way back. Shepperman. Mirandes under pressure. It's a throw-in. Almelo. Should I call him Almelo or Heracles Almelo? Zamburek Van Gilst! Oh, and it's just high. We almost had a goal. An amazing opportunity. It was just never settled. He was never comfortable on the ball, and it always rose. But Mirandes, they survive a scare. It remains 0-0 as Nikic goes long. Mirani intercepts. Shepperman. Almelo's looking good. They're representing Ajax well. Messick. Shepperman. Van Gilst now. Van der Kust again. Hornkamp. In the box. Gets the ball back. Recovers it. Van der Kust again. Tamarit intercepts and Marino goes the other way for Mirandes. They haven't been in Heracles' half. This is their first time. Maybe they can create a good opportunity here. That's a decent ball into the box, but it can't get over the defender. Heracles gets the ball back, and it's their turn to attack now through Hornkamp and Van Gilst. They've been on the ball a lot. Van Gilst holding on to the ball in the midfield. Goes out wide to Van der Kust. Van der Kust into the corner he goes. Van der Kust, will he put her in the box? Edge of the box. Zamburek. Van Gilst. Van der Kust again. Edge of the box again to Shepperman. Shepperman inside. Off the bar. Off the bar by Heracles Almelo. And they probably should be 1-0 up. It was a smart chip over the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper can't reach it, but it's just too high. Nikic once again, for the second time, will go long in the 30th minute as Mirandes is playing with fire. It's all Heracles Almelo here. Mirandes has to turn things around. They have to find a solution. They don't have a solution right now for Heracles Almelo. Another dangerous ball into the box, and Mirandes will just clear it out. Ah, and it's given away to Petit. Petit. One shot. It should have been one goal, but it's one shot and a grave opportunity missed for Mirandes. And I'm sure Mirandes will not be happy with that finish. The chance was there. It was there, guys. Petit, he missed it. Barea, but it put some life into their side. Right at the edge of halftime, Marino, Barea, Varela is in space. Mirani, last-ditch effort, puts it out for a corner. But Mirandes has responded well. The ball goes into the box. There's Limbombe, the one that missed that sitter that hit the crossbar for Heracles Almelo. He'll slow things down, and we might go into halftime at 0-0. Although it's been a very exciting half. Yes, it is 0-0 after 45, guys. There is some buzz in the dressing rooms as Mirandes kick off. Some positivity to take. In the last 10-15 minutes or so, they were excellent. And they start off just like they ended the first half. Aaron. Barea now in the box. Pressure by Mirandes. Marino. Dangerous. Tamarit. They're all over Heracles Almelo here. Barea again. Tamarit. Will they be rewarded? Petit, who missed that opportunity. He could have put Mirandes 1-0 up. Barea. Petit again. In the box. Aaron. Tamarit. It's given away and the chance is lost. Mirandes get the ball right back. Tamarit drops it off. Marino. We're in the 62nd minute. No goals just yet, but exciting football has been played here. Petit still holding on. Goes to the corner flank. Back it goes to Barea. Back to Petit. There is another opportunity for Mirandes, and De Kaiser saves it. It was right at him. He'll go long right away, trying to get a counterattack going. But Mirandes intercepted, and they go the other way once again. Petit, he's been on the ball a lot. That's a great pass. Aaron! We got a golazo! Heracles Almelo has not taken their opportunities, and maybe Mirandes didn't either in the first half. But boy, oh boy, did they respond here in the second. A wonderful through ball by Petit. He missed that chance, but he laid it off beautifully, and the finish was class from Aaron. Bottom corner, no chance for the goalkeeper. 1-0 Mirandes, and look at that smile and that mustache. What a stash that is. Mirandes through Martin. Aaron Martin in the 70th minute. Engels and Heracles Almelo will be looking up to the heavens, guys. They will looking up to the skies because they've had their opportunities. They've had their chances in this game. Shepperman. Not all is lost, though. There's still time. Not a lot of time. We're in the 75th. Ball goes into the box. Medrano gets it out of danger. Great turn. Hornkamp. Nikic is put to the test as changes are being made by Heracles. Van Gil's coming off. Bruns coming off. The goal scorer with the stash of the day, Aaron Martin, is also coming off for Cardero. But Heracles do have a corner. Another chance. Another opportunity for a goal to equalize the game. They keep the ball. Zamburek. There is another shot. It's blocked. Barea. He'll kick it upfield. Barea in space to Varela. Varela forward to Petit. Petit provided that assist so far on the game-winning goal. It goes back to Petit. Barea, will he go out wide? No. Zamburek slides and intercepts the ball for Heracles Almelo, and it's panic mode for Almelo here in the 89th minute. Zamburek on the ball. Little bit of confusion between him and Limbombe on the right side. Zamburek plays it into the midfield to Bruns. Fresh legs. Shepperman. Zamburek again. We're in stoppage time. They need to create a chance. They need a goal. Will the ref let him play? The ball in the box. Hornkamp, he puts it high. He puts it wide. And the whistle is blown. And Heracles Almelo from the Dutch Eredivisie, who made a wonderful, wonderful run. They replaced Ajax in the competition. They fall just short in the final to CD Mirandes from La Liga 2 Hypermotion. They replaced Villarreal. And they are your Champions League winners, my friends. CD Mirandes. Take care of yourselves, guys. Take care of each other. Stay happy, stay healthy. I hope you enjoyed something new, something fresh, something different on the channel. And in our Champions League final, it turned out to be a Dutch club versus a Spanish club, but two clubs that were represented that may not get to the Champions League final at all this year. I don't think Villarreal and Ajax would get there. Let me know if you have any other cool ideas that you'd like to see on the channel. Comment them down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button with the little noti bell, and I'll see you guys in the next couple of days. CD Mirandes, congratulations. Peace, 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 peace.